Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to the Celebrate Columbus Show, powered by Johnson Whitkemper Insurance Services. My name is Josh Burnett, and as you can see, I've got an excellent guest with me today. I'm so excited. I'm talking about something that's been going around in our community, this idea of Quest Columbus, where it's our goal to be America's best city. And my guest today, Danielle Nickerson, is an amazing example of who we are as a community and who we aspire to be. And so we're just going to have a conversation. I'm going to introduce you to her, and we're going to talk about service. We're going to talk about family, life. It's going to be a great conversation. So without further ado, Danielle Nickerson, thank you for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
So you might not know this, Columbus, but I've known Danielle for a long time, her and her husband, and I just think they're an amazing couple doing great things all the time. And so I wanted to talk to her about why she loves Columbus, what she enjoys doing, and how maybe we can learn from the small things that her and her husband do to make Columbus so great. So let's dive into just a little bit about you and your background, okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Tell us about, your Columbus story here.
Well, I actually moved to Columbus in fourth grade, so I'm not born and raised, although if anybody asks me what my hometown is, I say Columbus. But went to Rock Creek Elementary School, North Side, graduated from East. I'm an IUPUC grad, although that's not a thing anymore. It's
Yeah.
IU Columbus.
Yeah.
And have stuck around since fourth grade. So I really love the community, I love the people, and I love what we're trying to do.
And so tell us a little bit about what you do on a day-to-day basis for work.
So I currently am the Corporate Social Responsibility Manager for Toyota Material Handling here in Columbus, and so I get the privilege every day to work with the community, the nonprofits, our school corporation, other companies, and really just say, how can we continue to make Columbus thrive and grow and be the best community in America?
And I've noticed that specifically with your role at Toyota, and I've been to different events that you've been responsible for, and I just appreciate it so much. And Toyota has set an example for a long time with that corporate responsibility. But with you at the helm of that, I feel like, we're really doing some cool things. Could you maybe talk a little bit about some of the work that you get to do there?
Yeah, so some of my favorite examples of work that we do is our Lift the Community Day. So that is associate focused, but it's a day of giving back. So we're shut down for the week. Our associates usually have to take PTO, but instead of taking PTO, we say, hey, let's go all volunteer together. So we get 30 to 40 projects in the community all on one day, and we send out hundreds of associates. So that's one example of what I get to do. Another is Manufacturing Day. So we work with about 10 different businesses, trying to grow that a little bit, so open to new partners. But we come together in October and really bring high school students on a Friday all day, show them what manufacturing is, and not just typical historic factory floor work, but automation and coding and engineering, and bringing in some of the office perspective of supply chain and legal and all of those types of things. So that's another example of the great work I get to do every day.
Yeah, and I know, each summer I always enjoyed going out with my previous work, getting to go out to Toyota for STEM camp when we would go out there on that day. Mm-hmm. And it was such a fun day for those kids and for them to get to see themselves, in their future.
Absolutely.
And I think a cool thing is like getting people to see that those opportunities are here in Columbus.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And we, this year, not only did STEM camp, but we also did Innovator Summit with BCSC, so that was geared more towards the middle school students. Same concept. Mm-hmm. Bring them in, get to see different areas of manufacturing, see a facility, talk to the associates. That's one of my favorite things, is our associates get to be involved and share their stories and share their passion around what they're doing, which then engages the kids more and helps them see themselves there in the future.
That's awesome. So those are a couple of highlights of the things, with your work.
Yep.
But I want to kind of zoom out to personally. So, you and your family are very involved in community service.
Yes.
At every level. Could you maybe talk about, why is that important to you? How did you get started in being so involved in the community?
Well, it's important to me because nobody gets anywhere on their own, right? Everybody has people that lend a hand, help them out in different aspects and stages of their life. But my career in community service really started in fourth grade when I was at Rock Creek. Our counselor at the time, Miss Brown, had a club that she started with a bunch of fourth, fifth, and sixth graders called Serving Our Community in School. So from fourth grade, I was getting involved in the community. We were doing things like recycling through the school and that sort of thing. But there was also a project that I remember vividly where Mineral Springs flooded. And so we put together a plan to go out and do landscaping for homes that their landscaping was gone because it had flooded. And we went to City Hall and we did a presentation and all of those types of things. So my career actually started way back then. And I think if you'd asked Tyler, he'd say I kind of brought him along for the ride. When we got married and things, I was involved, and just by the nature of being married to me, he came along too, and now has his own things and are super involved. And our oldest, Bella, she's 16, a sophomore at North. She's also now gotten involved.
I'm glad we're mentioning Bella because she's done some pretty cool things.
She has done some really cool things, and people tell me, great job, but it's not me. It really isn't. She has taken the initiative to say, this is what I want to do and how I want to do it. And we're here to support. How can we guide you? But we really let her kind of take it on and do it her way. So.
Awesome. Well, I've just been so impressed with that because, some people, it's a part of their job, but really it's a part of your life.
Yes.
And one of the things that, you just said is, nobody gets there on their own. Mm-hmm. And then also I was thinking about, when we're married and we have a family, sometimes those community service can take us different directions, but I've noticed with your family that you guys do this together.
Yes.
Could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, Tyler and I talked a long time ago just about my community engagement and really wanting to be family oriented in that and help our kids see the value of serving and giving back and really understanding they have a pretty privileged life. They don't experience a lot of hardships. And so bringing them into those situations and allowing them to understand that's not everybody's experience, and how can we grow empathy in our kids through these types of activities. So that's really the why behind it. Mm-hmm. But then it's just fun. It's very cool to have a whole family there and get to know other people and experience these events and activities and causes and be able to have a conversation around at the dinner table and those types of interactions and have it really just part of our life.
I was just thinking, let's say your 6-year-old that my wife got the privilege to teach, and
bless her.
Yeah, well, I'm sure I'd say the same thing about our 7-year-old little girl. She's got a lot of energy, but we can all give at least one of three things. We can give our time, our talent, our treasure. Yeah. And I've said this many times. I can give my time for sure. And I can give, as much talent as I have, and I can't give a lot of treasure, but there's something that everyone can give.
Absolutely.
Sometimes
the time is more important than the treasure.
I agree. And
I just have to say that. A lot of, even from a business perspective, a lot of companies are focused on the checks that they're writing. Right. Which is needed, absolutely. For sure. Organizations absolutely need the money to be able to support their programs and services. But sometimes sending associates to go volunteer or volunteering yourself is really what is needed. And that, I think, sometimes gets overlooked.
And I'm glad you brought that up because that is one thing that I've really noticed that you and Toyota are doing is, yes, you're helping with the treasure part and you're helping with the talent, but you're spending a lot of time in our community and we're benefiting from it. Can you talk about the importance of that time feature a little bit more because that's something we can all do.
Absolutely. So when we looked at building our program, one of the things that was really important to our executives, and I understand why, is we want our associates to engage. We want them to have the buy-in. We want them to reap the benefits because ultimately we'll reap the benefits of that.
Yeah.
So spending the time to understand what our associates are interested in and then finding the opportunities that match, that provides a win-win-win for all parties.
Yes.
Because our associates will go out, they will become involved in the organizations that mean something to them. They feel good, they're more motivated, they're happier, all of the benefits that you get from volunteering. But then they become advocates of that organization, and they will support with the talent and the treasure, right?
Right.
Maybe not as big as a company would, but they're going to provide that, and then they're going to bring their friends along, and it's going to grow and ripple effect from there. And it's just one of those things that everybody has time, whether it's an hour or 12 hours or 16,
Right.
whatever, everybody has time. And so our treasure actually is a lot tied to our time. So when organizations come to us and say, hey, will you sponsor this event, or can you support this organization's program, the first thing we look at is how engaged are our associates with your program and services, because time is valuable and it will ripple out further with that time being part of the equation.
I'm thinking about potential business owners and nonprofit leaders that are potentially watching this, and maybe spend a little time on the small business aspect of it, about what you're kind of speaking to. It sounds like Toyota really listens to what the associates, you call them, correct? That what they're passionate about, what they're interested in, and then you get buy-in, and then that's how you serve, work, volunteer. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. So that we have some corporate partnerships that are just, as a company, we've said we're going to support this. But for the most part, a lot of what we support is our associates are choosing that through where they're choosing to get involved, or making requests or talking about. And so even small businesses, sure, we give 16 hours and we have the ability to do that, and maybe a small business doesn't.
Yeah.
But taking an afternoon and going and volunteering for an hour or two, that there's benefit in that for
Yes.
all parties. And so I would highly encourage that.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about how, all of our businesses can get started somewhere, because when I was listening to a couple of the different Quest leaders, it's really trying to let me back up. So Columbus has been so blessed with people like Mr. Miller, right? And then other people really after him that have, taken that mantle and, kind of run with it. But in order for Columbus to be the best community in the country, it's going to take a lot of people
Doing their part.
A lot of people just doing their part.
Absolutely.
And that's what I really wanted people to see, was somebody who's been doing her part for a long time. And that's so cool that, as a fourth grader, that's how you got started. And I hope that there's a kid, and it's probably yours that's watching this, that, continues to be inspired by you, but many others, that it's not the big things that make the difference. It's the several small things over time. And then along the way, it's multiplied, right, through your family. And then you've matched, you could have chosen to work a lot of different places, but you chose Toyota, and they chose you because it was a perfect alignment and working on making our community better.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think that's what a lot of people don't think about, is that ample effect and that ripple effect of when you get involved, people are going to notice, they're going to see, they're going to inquire, they're going to ask questions, they're going to get involved, and then they're going to bring their friends, and it's just going to continue to amplify. And the more that we can give back and pour into our community, the more the community is going to grow and thrive and give back to us in bringing in new businesses, bringing in things to do, those types of things.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Columbus, for watching this episode. I hope that you've been inspired, informed, and also you've been invited to be a part of Columbus's story. So we'll see you next time.